Hey guys, Kerix here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the TK09 Kamen Rider Drive type formula from Kamen Rider Drive. This is the 9th entry in the Tower Kokon series, and is Drive's second power-up form. So this includes a few things: the figure itself, 2 tires, and 1 weapon. So to start, let's take a look at the base figure. So here we have Drive type formula, which does quite a few things different from its past forms. For starters, one thing you'll see is that while the main color here is blue, it actually has a yellow helmet. And that's actually part of the design scheme here. So starting up from the top, we've got his helmet, which is primarily yellow with some black stripes and then a couple of blue stripes in the front. We've got this kind of top exhaust point here. It's done up in silver plastic, same as the muffler part down here, or the mouth plate. It's also got this visor part going over his eyes, done in clear black plastic, or the same kind of eyes that he has normally. And they go back to this spoiler in the back here, which is done up in solid black. And so it's a pretty simple head design, but it kind of goes along with the next part, which is the chest plate, which is designed after a Formula 1 race car. So the design scheme here is that with the way they're kind of designed, the race car drivers in Formula 1 cars actually sit pretty low in the seat, so kind of have the head just sticking up above kind of where the steering wheel would be. So what you have here is kind of the image of a race car with the driver's head popping right out of it. So for the chest plate, you can start off with this front part, which has the nose, a little port down here, a little indent there, the front wings there, painted up in silver with a couple of logos painted on. Got another spoiler back here, and then 2 more white panels painted on the front. And the first thing you'll notice, or rather the next thing you'll notice, is the sponsor logos, which are the same ones that you'd find on the trailer hoe. So for the front, we have Deco Traveler and Fire Braver. And on top we have Dimension Cab and Midnight Shadow. On this side is Road Winter, on the other side is Max Flare. On the shoulders you have Massive Monster, and on the other side you got Colorful Commercial and Justice Hunter. For the spoiler on the back, you have Amazing Circus, Spin Mixer. Let me see, that one is, looks to be Road Winter, and the last one is Rolling Gravity. For this side you have Mad Doctor, Funky Spike, and Massive Monster. The other one you have Rumble Dump and Burning Solar. Moving on to his arms. He's got new stripes here. Got white stripes with red stripes along them to mimic the markings on a racetrack. And those move down to a pair of twin tires. These ones are smaller than normal tires, and the 2 are identical, going on his arms near his elbows. Taking a look at them, you can see that each one has a yellow stripe going around it, and they both read Type Formula. Past that, you have the gauntlets, which have the front part in blue, and then the rest is black. You got a silver band on this wrist, and of course the shift brace on the other. For the waist, you got the typical drive driver, molded in silver plastic, with a sticker for Type Formula, the F symbol. Red belt straps, the generic shift card holder on the other side. On the back, you can see that there's a booster engine here, which he can use to go faster than normal. And down to the legs, You got the same striping. Unfortunately, while this side is fine for mine, there was a quality control issue here, where as you can see, the molding lines go like this, but when it was painted, the leg was turned like this, so it goes down like that, causing it to either be aligned with the paint and have one knee facing inward, or matched up with the molding lines and having this be off-center. Going down to the legs, there's also some logos molded on there. For this one you have Amazing Circus and Dream Vegas. For the other one you have Max Flair again and Rumble Dump. Then going down to the feet, you got a couple of yellow bands for the ankles. And then the typical feet with black and some blue paint. So another detail is that you can take this part here. It also has a couple of neat rear view mirrors molded on. You can lift this up and remove it to actually reveal an engine on there. And this is something he has in the show. Basically, whenever he needs a tune-up, this part gets removed, and then work is done on him. See a lot of nice molded in detail, including a molded on drive symbol. And speaking of that, you can actually see that the one on his forehead is a different one from usual, and it's supposed to be like the one that's on the trailer hoe. You also have these two kind of panels right here. They're done in gunmetal gray and stick out on either side. And then on the back, you got the same kind of car underbelly details as before, though with some add details. Specifically, these kind of streamlined parts in 3 sections, both on the backs of his wrists and the backs of his lower legs. Getting on to articulation, you've got ball joint head. Arms have some rather limited articulation because of the design, so they can go back and forward a little bit. You got the bicep swivel, single joint elbows, wrist rotation, 2 finger joints, and for some reason this part right here can also be rotated on either arms, which is not a part of the body that a human could normally rotate. You got the waist articulation, legs go forward and back, in and out, thigh rotation, single joint knees, and ball joint ankles. So then we also have his weapon, the trailer hoe, which is molded in blue with some black and silver paint, and has a lot of the same details that the deluxe toy has. Very nicely molded on. And even the handle has a lot of nice molding to give it those elements of the trailer cab. And so you can have him hold it in either hand. Though, one of the things to do is, because of the size, well, you can have him hold it in one hand. Kind of the preferred thing to do is have him hold it with 2 hands. And the way to do that is basically to bring one arm inward, then move this along, and have the larger portion of the trailer held by the other hand. Just like so. Now, obviously, it's not actually going to be gripping it, more like resting there. But it is able to balance it out like that, so that you can have him looking in the direction he's firing. Otherwise, you can have him hold it with one hand, and have them firing outwards. Of course, we also have the Tire gimmick. So because he has 2 tires, you can actually switch out and have him using any 2 tires on either wrist. So for a couple of examples, first I'll use Max Flare and Justice Hunter. I'll just bring out the flare bits. Attach it on this wrist. Just like that. Attach the Justice Hunter tire on the other one. Like so. Which I'll admit, this is sometimes a little bit tricky just because you're trying to work this onto the arm. There you go. Then have him hold the Justice Cage in the associated hand. And then you have him like that. You can do a little bit of posing with him by rotating the arms around. Of course, you can also spin the tires. Just like that. And for another example, I'll use Funky Spike and Massive Monster. We'll put Funky Spike on this arm, Massive Monster on the other one. And have this hand hold 1/2 of the monster. So there you have that. A lot of times it's just easier to hold the arm itself when spinning the tire, just so that you don't knock the arm down. And so this you can kind of mix and match and make all kinds of combinations using the tires you have. And when you're all done, you can switch back to the Type Formula tires. As a little bonus, because of the way this works, and because you have 2 tires on the arms, another little trick you can do is that you can have the arms out like this, and move it down like that, and basically roll them along the ground. Or at least try to. Which I think is pretty cool. Just string it out a little bit. Overall, I think Type Formula is a really fun figure. I definitely like the design. It's bold and dynamic, and it definitely stands out from the other forms. Not only for having a helmet that doesn't match the rest of the body, but also for the unique chest plate, which, fits well with the Formula 1 racing theme, as well as the wrist tires, or forearm tires, and all the different sponsor logos along him. The hidden engine is also a cool, nice little feature. I think this handles the double tire coke on a little bit better than Type Dead Heat does, since both of the tires are kind of opposite each other, rather than having one across the chest and then one on the shoulder. I'd say the only unfortunate thing about this is that he's hindered both by design and by the tires themselves. Because from what I've seen in the show, while when he first transforms, he has tires that are about this size. When the two guys are actually fighting, he uses a smaller set of tires that are more close in, and so allow him for more arm movement. That being said, the way to get around this is to kind of pose him with a preference to either the left or right sides, or to make use of the bicep rotation and kind of go from there. I think with a little bit of creativity you can find some fun and cool poses to put him in. So of course has the trailer hoe, which is nicely painted, has enough detail, and can be used, as well as, like I said, the ability to use 2 tires at a time with him, so you can come up with different kinds of combinations. Now, as for the tires for Monton, Jack, and Spanner, unfortunately those are not included with the set and won't be coming out at retail. Instead, they're going to be released in a premium Bandai set called Tire Set Formula. And so pre-orders are going for that right now. I do plan to pre-order it, and the pre-orders will be ending in early May, and it'll be released in about July. So, if you kind of want to get those two, now I'd say to find a way to get a pre-order on that, and then, just kind of maybe wait until July to pick up one of these figures, or pick up one now and, get the set anyway. And currently there is not yet any announcement for an SH Figure version, so right now this is, your best option for a nice posable version type formula. Still, I would say this is a nice addition to the Tire Kogan series, and a fun figure overall. So, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more videos. And for now, this is KRX50, riding off.